welcome back to Oakhill for episode 3 with me, Farm Sim Snowy. Oh, welcome back everyone. I was just having a quick coffee lunch break, but I've finished now. A decision has been made on the potatoes. I was advised by another local farmer, look, because we haven't got really the funds to hire or buy any of the potato harvesting equipment, it's not really going to be worth our time, because by the time we've done it we'll be lucky to have broke even. I mean, we have got a few options. I mean, this one's out of the question. That's 25,000 to lease. We've got the Plowed ones we could have gone for, but he's even saying these ones here, look, even by the time you lease them, they're not as wide as the more expensive harvester. It's not going to be worth it, so we're going to plough them in, which does make me feel a bit bad because it's a crop that, you know, we've inherited and we could have made a bit of money off of it, but it come at the wrong time, I think, for us is the best thing to say. But this field here, that needs ploughing as well. If we go into this menu, so 61 was the rye field, and then our potato field, if we turn off fertilising, no, it doesn't need ploughing, but we need to plough it because we've got to get rid of the potatoes. Everything else is growing. The wheat field is, that is wheat, yeah, on its last stage of growth by the look of it. So the plan is to plough these two fields, and we're going to try and get something else planted in there. There is a few more contracts available that we could do, but my main priority is our farm at the moment. We need to get things up and running and moving and earning some more money. So we're going to whiz up to the shop because, and again, I'm not sure we should be buying it, but we are going to get ourselves a subsoiler. I mean, that's 17,000. If we do that, it's going to only leave us about 25,000. But we could lease it because it's one of those tools that we are going to use from time to time, but is it worth buying? Probably not straight away. So we'll lease one of those. I'm not worried about the colours. That would probably go quite well with the Massey. So for 867 we'll lease that. And we'll run up and grab that. I think we'll cut across the field here. Obviously we wouldn't be doing this if we had crops in there, but as it's bare, we'll whiz across here. Yeah, it's a real shame about the potatoes, but I think in the long run, at the minute, it's the right thing to do for us. I'll get some beacons going. We desperately need to try and get some money back in. Like I say, once we've done all this, we'll have a look and we'll see if there's any contracts available that we can crack on with and suits our needs. Fertiliser contracts are always quite good, easy to do, should be nice and quick as well with the equipment we've got. And harvesting contracts, we've obviously got our own harvester, we can take care of that pretty well. And hopefully at the end of it, if we do any harvesting contracts, there'll be a little bit of the crop left over which we can sell and can earn a little bit extra from the actual contract itself, so that'd be pretty good. Where am I going? I want to go to the potato field first. So it's a bit of a trek down this way. So here we are. Turn the beacons off. Let the sad times commence. Let's just check we haven't got great fields on, because we don't want to be doing that. Off we go. Money going down the drain. Oh well. Onwards and upwards. Right, that took quite a long time. What I'm going to do now is, let's just have a quick look on the map. So we're now got rid of all the potatoes. Field 33 now looks like that, which is pretty good. I'm going to try not to keep thinking about the potatoes, what we just wasted. I'm going to now head over to field 61 and I'll do exactly the same on there. I've got to say, I love this soil texture. Nice and dry and flaky. I'll head over to field 61 and I'll get that ploughed, subsoiled, and I'll see you as I'm just finishing that for the next part. So we just got the last little strip left to do, and then this field's looking nice and ready. Like so. Fold that up. So now if we go into here, you can see 6133 is ploughed, but the only thing is 61 where we are now needs liming. 33 does that? No, it's got a couple of little spots there, but that can get done next time we do that. So we're going to need to lime field 61. Well, our spreader will do that. But what I'm thinking is, if we take our spreader up to the shop with us, we can unload what fertiliser we've got in there at the shop, fill it up with some lime, and then we can hire a seeder. Where is it? There it is. I'm not sure whether this is going to cope with it on the front. Oh, not that one. That's it. That should be alright. We haven't got to go too far. Tractor's looking absolutely filthy. That's another thing we need to get, is a pressure washer. So yeah, the theory is we haven't got a lot of fertiliser in there, but I'm going to take it all up to the shop. We can off-hire this subsoiler. We'll unload the fertiliser, we'll get some lime, and then when we lease a seeder, we can then fill that seeder up, because I'm going to get one that's got a fertiliser tanks on it as well, so we're doing the first stage of fertiliser as we go, because it just makes life a lot easier. And then we've got the seed tank already built in at our farm, which is going to come in very handy. I'm assuming it works, we haven't tried it yet. So if we pop that down there a second, and pop that down there, now if we do that to unload, what I'll do is I'll go in and see Lee, I'll get some lime bags, probably get a few because that's not, lime normally goes pretty quick, and we'll off hire that, so I'll see what he can do for us. Right, I've ended up buying 2 big bags of lime over here, which gives us 4,000 litres, but this only takes, I think it was 3,200, wasn't it? So we'll have a tiny little bit left, but that's fine. We'll see how far this gets us. I mean, field 61 is quite big. To be fair, we do own probably one of, almost, let's just have a quick look. Well, it's not the biggest field, is it? But it's, you know, it's up there with some of the bigger fields on the map. So we're doing all right in that sense. So we'll whiz back down and we'll do. I'll tell you what I am going to do actually, because this is a bit. Where it's loaded up, it's a bit bouncy. We're going to get ourselves a little weight, I think. We'll buy one of those because we can afford them. They're not that expensive. I think if we just get ourselves a 650. What's that? That is 650 kilos. I think that would be alright just to counterbalance that. I mean, we're not going to have anything. Let's go for. Let's go for jet black. Puts another £100 on there, but we can afford that. It just means that that's not gonna bounce around as much, hopefully. So where's the trees right in the way? That feels a bit better. Just to take a little bit of the edge off of it. That's because there's a nasty dip there in that bit of tarmac. That'll do us, so I think 650's enough for that. Good to go. Right, I'm not sure if this spread width stays the same or it might go a little bit more narrow with line. We'll soon find out. Let's go for it. Seems to be the same. That's pretty good. Right, I'll crack on and do this, and I'll go and do the other small field that we ploughed the potatoes up. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. That's that field done. I've just realised we don't actually need to lime. I said, well, I'll nip over to the other field. It doesn't need liming, so apart from those silly little bits, but we'll leave them. So I've bought a little bit too much lime than what we needed, but that's okay. So we'll drop this back in there, and then we need to go up to the shop. That's the wrong one. I want to lower that one. And look at some cedars that we can lease. I had to fill up a few times though to do this field, because where that's our spread is only 3,200 litres, it didn't go very far. So maybe in the future we could look at getting some storage tanks for lime and fertiliser put into our farm. I know the shop's not a million miles away, but it just saves all this hassle of backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. I know we could buy a few pallets and load them up on a trailer and bring them back to the farm, which is another option, but then that means getting a trailer, front loader. Anyway, let's go and have a look at what seeders we can use. So we want to be in this menu. We want one that's going to seed and fertilise at the same time. I mean, that does, but it's only 3 metres. I know our fields aren't massive, but we want to try and get a lot of it done as quick as we can. These are really expensive, so that's no good. Expensive, not very wide. This is a brilliant cheap option, but it doesn't fold up, so I'm a bit worried about driving along the roads with it. Got this guy, it's 8 metres wide, which is pretty good. Well, it says 8 metres, 6 metres, doesn't it? That's seeds and fertilisers. Oh, the only trouble is the horsepower. Our little Massey's not going to pull that. So we're going to have to... that doesn't fertilise, does it? That's expensive. And got this little fella, 3.6. So I'm thinking we're going to put some soybeans in both those fields, because soybeans are good money earners. I might have to go for that. I know it's not very wide, but that's a bit annoying, isn't it? I was hoping to use one of these, but unless we do use that one and we'll just have to fertilise after. I'm really tempted to use that, but going off script a little bit, I've been using that, or I have used that in my No Man's gameplay. I'm trying to use some different things. That is annoying. I know in here, planters, we've got some that will do all crops like this one, but that doesn't fertilise. That one does, never use that, I've no idea what. That one again as well, but right, let's just go with this one. That's wider than that. We'll just lease that. Like so. Where are we? So we'll see how much fertiliser that will take with what we've already got. Again, I'm guessing this isn't going to go very far on our larger field. That's good, let's fill that right up actually. Right, I'll whiz down to the farm and we'll get some seeds put into this tank and we'll get going. So let's see what we can do with this seed tank then. Seeds. Doesn't take very many, does it? I mean, there was me worried about the John Deere one being too wide, and this one's a bit wide as well, so it's not ideal what we've done. I'm going to change this over to soybeans, like so. Not sure how far this is going to go, but turn her on and lower her. And off we go. It's going to take a while like this. I will carry on with this and I'll see you probably just as I'm finishing off the second field. Right, we got a little bit left to do here. As you can see, I changed seeders because the little starer one we had was just taking forever. So I swapped over to this one, which is wider but doesn't fertilise. So I just finished this little strip and I'll show you on the map. Swap that away. So we now have got soybeans in these two fields. If we go into this menu, you can see field 61's got a strip of fertiliser on the outside edge, which is what we did with the smaller seeder. Luckily for us, field 33 is fully fertilised, so we don't have to worry about that, but we're going to need to fertilise this field. So what I'm going to do is return this seeder, and I will have to grab our lime spreader as well, empty the lime, get some fertiliser, and then head on out to field 61, and I'll probably see you there to fertilise that. So I'll see you shortly. Just this last little strip left to do, and I've just taken on a harvesting contract because it looks pretty easy to me. So that should be that whole field fertilised. As you can see, a couple of little odd patches here and there, but that's fine. So just here, I've taken on this one. So it's harvesting barley in field 75 for Justine. And then I've got to take it to South Grain. If we look on the map, 75's there, quite a big field, and South Grain is pretty much next door to it. So the worst bit is going to be getting our equipment down. We've got a harvester and we've got a tractor and trailer, so we're using our own equipment, so we'll save on the borrowing fees. And if there's any crop left, she said we can have it ourselves, which is very nice of her. I'll drop this off and I will get all the machinery. Hopefully I can persuade Gary or one of the other farmers to bring the tractor and trailer down, because if we crack on and get the harvester down there, seeing as that's the more expensive bit of equipment, I'll leave that there ready for them. And the harvester is in here. I managed to swing right round and sort of come back on myself. That's supposed to be outside. I've obviously got too close to the wall, and that's pushed one of them through the wall. Oh well, that'd be fun trying to get that out. Right, well I'm going to whiz down there and get all the equipment down, and I shall see you in a second, guys. Here we are. Quite handy is this track actually does lead back up to our farm. There is an entrance down there to the main road. Gary's just dropped off the tractor and got a lift back with his wife, which was quite handy for us. We're going to get cracking on with this. Hopefully it won't take too long, and South Grain is just over there, look, which is going to be very handy. So it's going to empty the last bit out of the harvester, and that is that field all done. There's a really awkward bit over there by that tree that you can't even get to with the harvester. There's a tree growing in the middle of their field, which, if it was my field, I'd have chopped that down. But hopefully we will make a little bit from any leftover barley. And then we'll see if there's any more contracts worth doing. But what I have noticed as well up here is our little wheat field is ready to harvest ourselves, so we could do that at some point, whether it's this episode or not. Right, so I'm going to whiz this round to South Grain. We've left them some nice straw swath on the field. Unfortunately we can't have that. They want to keep that for their horses, which is fair enough. but we could have probably made a little bit of money from that, but we can't have it. So we've got 12,878 litres left. Let's get the old beacons on. I keep forgetting to do that. I'll probably get told off by the police at one point. There's enough of them around this area. So that's finished, and we're making a little bit of money extra, which is good. So we've got just over 8,000 we made off of extra barley there, which is good. And if we go into contracts, we can now claim that. So we've made over £12,000 on that contract, which is pretty good. So we're going to collect that. And I did notice on the list of things, that's potatoes, I'm not interested in that. We've had enough experience this episode with that. Justine's got another field, 73, which is rye and take to South Grain. 73 is just over there. So I'm probably going to do that, but what I'll do is, if we accept that, because we'll use our own equipment again, I'll do that off camera, and then I'll bring you in when we're sort of tipping the last load again, and we sort of find out how much extra we make. And then what I'll try and do here and there, if we do a few contracts in a row like I'm doing now, obviously I don't expect you to sit through all of them watching me like that, but if I do some, I'll try and sort of screenshot if I can. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, but screenshot the final payment screen like we just had, and I'll put them all together and see if you can, well, so you can see how much we make. So I'll crack on with this, and I'll see you soon. So we've got a last little bit left to unload from this contract. It should all fit in this trailer if my calculations are correct. And then we'll whiz it down to the South Grain, see how much extra we can make. I mean, in theory we could actually stop tipping as soon as we start making money, and we could take it to the garden centre because it's slightly worth more money, but I don't think it's worth doing at the minute. If there was a massive difference, then I probably would do that. So yeah, not quite a full trailer load, but we've got a fair bit on. It's very nice down this end of the map. Look at the view over there. Beautiful. So head on down, beacons on to South Grain. They've already collected their straw off the field. Didn't let us have any, that's a shame. Oh, sorry. Too busy looking at the field. I think if the sell points for the contracts are so close together like these two, it's definitely worth doing. It's a no-brainer in my eyes, and it's all a little bit extra money for us. Build our money back up. So So here we go. Right, hopefully we'll start making a bit of money anytime soon, please. Come on. Ah, it's not going to be a lot, is it? £4,701. So we can now go into this menu and collect our reward as well. So yeah, what I was saying is if I can maybe screenshot, I don't know how it'd work out though, because it doesn't really tell you what we've done. So I was going to try and screenshot just the results box there and put a few together if I do any contracts off camera, but you won't know what contracts we've done, and I'll think of something, but we'll collect that. So that's a little bit more extra for us, and I think we will leave it there for this episode. So I hope you have all enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I'm going to take all our equipment back up to the main farm, so it's all ready to go for next time. But I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.